David from Sacramento. I was watching back the matches that CM Punk had with The Rock in 2013 and the promos leading up to them and thought Rock was outclassed by Punk. Am I the only one who feels this way? I don't hate Rock, but he seemed out of his element here. Do you agree? Those segments have not aged well for The Rock. I don't think they were that great from him back then either, but they've only gotten worse with time. I thought CM Punk made him look silly, honestly, especially that one promo where he nailed him with the line about, Rock's arms being too short to box with God. It was such a great line. Even some of his stuff in the feud with John Cena. I thought Cena, I don't want to say he mopped the floor with him, but he kind of mopped the floor with him. And all of that was 10 years ago. So the people still clamoring for a Rock return to feud with Roman Reigns, and there are people who still would like to see that. This version of Roman Reigns would do the same thing that CM Punk did to him 10 years ago. Don't get me wrong, Rock is one of the GOATs. He's a charismatic guy. He's one of the most charismatic stars they've ever had, maybe the most, right? One of the best talkers in his prime. By those later years, though, a lot of it just doesn't stand up. It was mostly just not funny, juvenile stuff. He'd call people popcorn fart and cookie puss. He tried to get cookie puss over. He had 2 matches with John Cena. He got hurt in both of them. The match with Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32, he made it out unscathed because he didn't take any bumps. And it was a 6-second match. Rock is 51 now. So if he ever did come back for a match with Roman Reigns, look, it would do incredible business. But they're already doing big business. I don't know what people would be expecting out of it. As far as, physically, what he could give, but also verbally. So I think people need to temper their expectations for what that would actually look like, because a lot of that stuff from that last comeback run, it doesn't hold up well. He really did. I think he did get outclassed by Punk. Vincent from Columbus, Ohio. What would you consider your Mount Rushmore of Big Four pay-per-views, with each slot being filled by one of each for the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series? For the Rumble, for me, it's either 1992 or 2000. I'll go at 1992, even though I thought 2000 was the better overall pay-per-view. The Rumble wasn't very good. Overall pay-per-view was excellent. 92, though, come on. How can I not put that on my Mount Rushmore? So I go 92. For WrestleMania, it's got to be WrestleMania 17. SummerSlam, I got to go 2002, which had Rock and Brock, Shawn's return against Triple H, and one of the best opening matches you'll ever see between Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. 1991 is my sentimental pick for SummerSlam because I absolutely loved that show as a kid. I still do. Still love that show. But objectively, I think it has to be 2002. And for Survivor Series, I would go... Survivor Series, I would go with 1996. I think I would go with 1996. The atmosphere in Madison Square Garden that night, especially for that main event. The best match that Sid ever had in his entire career against Shawn Michaels. Bret's return against Stone Cold, that was their first match, televised. The historical value of Rock debuting that night. I've grown fonder of that show. I actually wasn't that smitten with the show at the time that it happened. I think I was just bent out of shape about the whole Mystery Man thing. There was a Survivor Series match that night. I know Yokozuna was in it. Maybe Vader. Anyway, there was an opening in the match. They were teasing a mystery entrant, and there were so many rumors going around back then. Because even back then, you had, the dirt sheets, and there were online websites, and there was so much talk at the time, probably on RSPW also, of either the Ultimate Warrior or Rick Rude. Rick Rude was really the one that was being talked about the most. This was going to be the big return for ravishing Rick Rude to the ring, and then it ends up being the fucking murderer. It ends up being Jimmy Snuka. So I remember being very disappointed about that, but I have grown fonder of that show over time.